Okay. Hello and welcome to Indian Women in Dubai Coffee Chat. Welcome IWD and welcome Maya Care members. Today we are here to talk with the founders of Maya Care, Abhay and Manjiri, about their journey of Maya Care. For those who don't know Indian Women in Dubai, we are a 10,000 women strong platform. We are a group of by the women, for the women, connecting women around Dubai, and we were sort of the Google of Dubai. We are the family away from family, as we call it. And I'm really honored today to have Abhay and Manjiri here, who are the founders of Maya Care. We'll be talking about Maya Care, their journey, their vision for the team, how long they've come in this journey in the last 11 years. We'll also be talking about where they want to take Maya Care ahead of them. And one of the very important aspects which I really want to stress on is how we Indian women in Dubai can support Maya Care and be a part of it. So welcome to our show, Abhay and Manjiri. I'm very excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, Reema. Great to be here.
I'll actually start with the very beginning with you guys. I would love to know about your journey of Maya Care. How did you think of this concept? How it came into being? And what has the journey been? What have the last 11 years been so far?
Yeah, would you like to go?
So we started in 2009, and we were told when we started that we are too early and we are 10 years too early. Now we don't get told that at all, because now everybody acknowledges that this need exists. And what we started was we realized that this is the first generation of senior citizens in India who have had to face the reality that they have to be alone, either as a couple or by themselves. And it is socially very disturbing. Apart from the fact about convenience and everything else, it is socially very disturbing for them because they didn't expect this. When I say they didn't expect it, maybe our generation, people in their 40s and 50s, do expect it, because we expect them to move away from us and do something else with their lives. While the previous generation, I mean, if you take Abhay's parents, or if you take my parents who live in Pune, they have looked after their in-laws, they have looked after their parents themselves, and they sort of must have expected that this will happen. So given the reality, we realize that this is the time to do something which will help this transition and essentially help them live very active lives, because they're very different. The people who are in their 70s and 80s and 90s today are very different from their own parents, because they're far more active than their own parents used to be. They're far more independent, or they would like to be more independent. And what involves them, or what attracts them, is basically intellectual and emotional stimulation, which is quite different from the way their own parents were, because their own parents might have been satisfied with religion or with a family or doing something by themselves, but their interests are very. So given this intellectual, emotional stimulation and convenience is why we started Maya Care 11 years ago.
And just to add to what she says, that's why we call ourselves as next best thing to the family. So it's like a sort of a pseudo replacement to the children who are away due to the reason for work. And not only outside India, but even within India, or even within the same city, they might be away. Just because of the distances involved to travel, and the amount of time all the professionals spend during the work for the work, it can be very tricky to meet the parents or even do something for them. And that is where Maya Care comes into play.
Wow, that's amazing. You guys are actually absolutely the next best thing to family. I can totally say that. So how big is Maya Care today? How many members do you have, or how many volunteers do you have?
Yeah, so we started very small in Pune to begin with 11 years back. But now we are in India, we are in 9 cities. And
Wow.
in the UK, we just began about a few months back, but we are already establishing our network of volunteers in 3 cities, and the services have slowly started. Of course, the lockdown, to that extent, it takes time and the regulations, etc. In terms of number of volunteers, we have about across the globe. I'm talking about 9 cities in India and the UK. We have around 150 plus volunteers registered.
Wow.
And in terms of how many are active depends upon the demand, but the demand keeps on varying, and it will keep on varying, and depending upon that, we keep on adding more volunteers as well. Our volunteers, in terms of their age group, they can range from 18 onwards till senior most is 85
85.
years, and still rocking and providing service to senior citizens who might be younger than this person. So great. So till now, I think we have provided about 10,000 plus hours of service since we started to senior citizens, and that would cover around 1,500 plus senior citizens individually across countries and in the UK as well. So that is our coverage, and yeah, so that is the scale at which we are working, and with expanding dreams. Yes.
Guys, that's really inspirational. I think some of the numbers are here. Here are 10,000 hours, more than 150 volunteers, more than 1,500 My Care people touched. I mean, that's an incredible work you guys have done. So if I become a volunteer, what do I do? How does it happen? What do I have to do? What am I expected to do if I sign up to be a volunteer?
So first of all, once you sign up, the sign up can happen through various channels, including our website, through Facebook page, and directly calling our helpline as well. And once the individual is validated in terms of having a valid document, and it is either Manjiri or me or the local city coordinator, at least is going to have, nowadays we have a video call rather than face to face, but ensuring that the volunteer who wants to work as a volunteer, individual who wants to work as a volunteer, is really passionate about it, because we do value that trust and passion for the job. These two are the qualities which we look for in an individual, because we are dealing with senior citizens which who are vulnerable in that situation. They depend on our service, and we cannot take any chances in that respect. So once the volunteer is validated and we are all happy to induct that person in, then the person is given a very short training in terms of he's given exposure to all the information that we have, and then we sort of have a mentor-mentee type of a thing. And that is very well working in Pune and Mumbai, which are our established locations, where the senior, I mean, when I say senior volunteers, these are the people who have been with Maya Care for a long time. We engage the new volunteers for at least a couple of visits with the senior volunteer to ensure that they are comfortable, they know exactly how to interact with senior citizens, etc. And of course, we have a process, we have a SOP in place already, which each and every volunteer has to go through to understand how things work. And our main person, Jyoti, is always there to help out if our volunteers need any help or any sort of support. Right. So, yeah, and once they start, once they are engaged in providing a service to a particular senior citizen, usually that becomes a routine, and there is a sort of a trust and a rapport and a relationship established with the senior citizen. And it then becomes a reverse thing, that senior citizens are literally waiting, when is the Wednesday coming, and when it is going to be 4:30 in the afternoon when this guy will come and meet me. Yeah.
Very impressive, very impressive. You guys seem to have a very good process in place of onboarding new people into your teams, getting them up to speed very, very quickly so they know the Maya Care principles, and then just building them into your team so that they can be your almost your ambassadors to the community, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So how many times, what is the minimum hour time commitment you need from a volunteer, a minimum and a maximum hour, what you expect from them? Because people are busy, right? Life is busy, but everybody wants to help out in their little way. So what's the minimum we can do for you if I want to sign up for Maya Care?
Right. So yes, I'd like to take that, Reema, because it was designed, and it's very nice that we are talking to so many women today, because our original dream was to have women volunteers, and we do have a lot of women volunteers. And it's very, very important that women who want to volunteer or want to support Maya can know that they don't have to disrupt their own current lives, their current commitment towards family, work, education, whatever else they're doing. Because all we need is somebody reliable. When we say reliable, it's, as Abhay said, trust is the most critical thing here. So even if somebody says, okay, I'm just there for you in Dubai, for instance, or I'm in any part of the world, I'm just there, that's enough. Because every volunteer has the choice of saying no. Suppose the volunteer gets a call saying, tomorrow 5 p.m. somebody needs this. So she can say no, instead of 5, can I make it 7? Or can I make it day after morning? And if it's not an emergency, it's very doable. And essentially, so we say that, even if you're able to commit in, say, a 90-minute per month, which is actually nothing, that's more than enough for us. Or simply say that, okay, I'm okay with, talking to somebody on the phone, because that's a new thing we have started after the lockdown, that
Yeah.
increasingly senior citizens may not be comfortable having visits, though we maintain all the social distancing norms,
Yeah.
all of that. Sometimes it's just better to have a video phone call, or have somebody just, talk to you on the phone. Sometimes they don't have video and things like that. So coming back to your question of commitment, we would leave it
Yeah.
open to people who want to work
Yeah.
with us. So it's starting as low as, once a month. At the same time, say that, okay, next 3 months I'm not available because my son is in, the board exams, or I'm traveling, or whatever else. We're okay. And we have a lot of volunteers who come back. They're away for a couple of months or something, and then they come back.
Yeah.
The main thing is the trust factor. While there are other volunteers who work with us almost full time, because that's what they really want to do. It's amazing through the lockdown. As Abhay said, it's been difficult, but actually we are so impressed by our own volunteers, their commitment.
Yeah,
There are
absolutely.
people who've done 30 visits a month, even in
Wow.
lockdown,
Yeah,
so even in Pune alone, I think one of the worst months of COVID was July, and we had 150 visits in Pune alone
yeah.
Wow.
while that happened. So, I mean, the message to everybody who's watching in Dubai is just reach out to us. See, how you can help us in whichever way. It doesn't only have to be volunteering.
Yeah.
It could be many
Yeah.
other ways,
Yeah.
because you bring a lot of skills, and we'd really like to use, what you can give us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think I'll just take a moment to just urge the women in Dubai here, whether you're a busy mother and you can only dedicate, a few hours a month, or you've always wanted to help back the community in some way or the other. You might not be able to give a lot of hours, but you can dedicate a little bit of time. Now is such a golden opportunity to connect with this team, to be a part of this team, and it's such a great initiative and a noble gesture. Like, it's probably one of the best ways to give ourselves back to the society. So absolutely, we should, if you get a chance, and if you have the spirit to do it, please do connect with the Maya Care team. I want to ask one question here. I mean, if I sign up to a volunteer, you told us the things we can do, like call the Maya Care people. But what are the things that Maya Care doesn't do? What are the things that are not covered by Maya Care as such?
So ideally, we would like to do everything for senior citizens, because we don't want to disappoint them, as well as we want to make sure they get the required support. But we do have our own limitations, and we acknowledge that. So the three things that we definitely cannot do is we are not medically trained, right? So any medical emergency is not something which we can handle. So we cannot be there during medical emergencies. Secondly, I will also give you an option for that. Secondly, any housework like cleaning the house or doing some cooking and other things, those things our volunteers will not be able to do. And so these are the two key things that definitely we cannot. Or IR service is something which we definitely do not do. But having said that, if a particular senior citizen or their children request for one of these things, we don't disappoint them. We have a database of for every city for those services provided by various other agencies. So what we will do is we connect the senior citizens or their children who are requesting this service to the respective agencies, and they can then directly avail that service from that agency. And of course, to be very frank, during the lockdown, we had this situation, which was something which Manjiri and I had never thought about, that Maya Care would be of help. Is one of the senior citizens who we had been serving had been unwell for a long time, and living with his wife in a old age home in Pune, and their daughter living in the UK. Unfortunately, the person who he passed away in that whole situation in the evening sometimes, and I got a call from the daughter here that this has happened, and as soon as I got the call, I just connected with Jyoti, and Jyoti ensured that the volunteers went there. The person who was serving that senior citizen, plus a lady volunteer, because now the wife of the senior citizen who was being supported was going to be alone, and she needed support definitely. So we anticipated that. So a lady volunteer and plus two other volunteers at 10 o'clock at night, they said we were expecting only 2 volunteers to go, lady volunteer and original volunteer, but there were 4 volunteers who went, and they literally did everything that the children would do in terms of what we call as Antyasanskar and related preparations for that.
Mhm.
And one of the things which was done was a video call with their daughter here in the UK. So she could sort of on video participate in that. It was a very touching moment for all our volunteers and of course the people involved there. And but we had never anticipated that we would be supporting the senior citizen even in this situation. So I mean, our volunteers are so committed that they don't think about what time of the day it is. When the need is there, they will be there. Having said that, normally we expect 24 hours sort of notice given to us so that we can then arrange the right volunteer needed. But in such emergency situations, this is an emergency, but our volunteers and as an organization, we made sure that the right things were done.
Wow, that's such an amazing example of the commitment of your team and actually providing support in terms of, real need, real emergency in such a dire situation. So very sad situation, but kudos to your team to being very helpful and coming forward at the right time. I'm going to stop and take a question from Urvashi. She is an IWD member. I know her really well and she's amazing. And she's asking a question. How do you manage the safety of senior citizens?
Right. So one of the new things that we have done is that we have we have got a contract with one of the companies who supplies digital IDs. So till now, we used to have each volunteer has an ID, physical ID card given to the person so that they can show that they are MayaCare volunteers. So now, to make it more easier and to have those IDs in control, we have started with digital IDs. What it means is that centrally we can control the digital ID in the sense that if the person leaves the organization, we can disable the digital ID. Or if the person is going to be away for 2 or 3 months, during that period, we can switch off that ID. The whole idea is in case the person loses the phone or anything, it should not be misused. Right? So that is one thing. Secondly, as we said, the volunteers, right at the beginning, before we even decide to take the volunteer in, these volunteers are validated by means of, in India, Aadhaar card is the basis. That we at least having Aadhaar card means there is some sort of an authenticity. Ideally, we also expect driving license or any other valid document which we take. And then we sort of, whatever practically possible, we do all the background checks. As far as possible, we always tell our existing volunteers that if you know someone who is keen to volunteer, then getting volunteers through reference becomes much easier for us, because then there is at least a factor of safety involved in that, because someone is recommending from our own community, it becomes much more easier for us. So that is one aspect. Operationally, we make sure that the volunteer does enter the house during normal non-COVID times, but only in the living room.
Okay.
And they are not. We have instructed our volunteers not to enter in any other room unless the senior citizen is bedridden and the special request has come either from the senior citizen or from the family members.
Okay.
And of course, in COVID, we make sure that we social distance as much as possible or stay away. As Manjiri said, we have been mainly involved through video interaction. Do you want to add?
So just to add to very quickly to that is, right now in India, this is what we're doing. When we started in the UK, we have to follow the law of the land wherever we start the service. So in the UK, it is mandatory for every person who visits any vulnerable person to be DBS checked. So the criminal records checked. So as per whatever, if we start anywhere else, whatever the law of the land is, we will be following that. And that's extremely important that, we are above board on that front.
I mean, I definitely, that's great. You guys are respectful for which wherever you are. I think that's great. And I can see there's a good thought being put in all the systems and processes you've put so that there is enough safety of everybody involved in the process. I hope that answers your question, Urvashi. If it doesn't, just drop another note. We are very happy to take any questions you have. I have another question from one of our viewers. Which cities do you have this service in India?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we are always adding cities. So,
Yeah.
so I will add if I forget any. So
Yeah.
we have Pune, Mumbai, and Nashik in Maharashtra. We have Bangalore, Trichy. Just recently added Chennai, Chandigarh, Vadodara, and Ahmedabad. But next time we meet, I think whoever asked the question, we hope we'll give you more cities because every day we are adding, and we're getting.
Absolutely. You know what I would love to do, guys? Maybe in a couple of months from today, wishing you a lot of success and we meet again with a lot more cities, hopefully. So, Satavisha, hopefully that answers your question. And if your city is not covered, maybe you should become the coordinator of that city and help us launch in your city. I think that's a great way of doing this. Okay, Mukta, I'll come to your question in a little bit. I guess I'll move on to the next segment. Guys, you've had an amazing journey so far. You've achieved a lot in the last 11 years. When you started it, you were much ahead of your times. And I think this right now, everybody actually believes in your concept. I honestly do. And I do because I'm also an expat and I live out of India and my parents are there in India, right? What's your vision of Maya Care? Where do you want to take it next? Where are we going from here?
Right. So it's great to be asked this question because the vision is audacious, and we generally believe that if we say something which other people laugh at, it's a good idea because if it sounds so ridiculous, it may happen, it may not happen. We hope it will happen. But the vision is that we want to be present in all cities of the world, and not just India, but all cities of the world as needed. And I like to repeat, depending on the laws of the land, depending on the culture of the land, depending on the culture of the city, what is appropriate, we'll do that. And we really is something we would like to do. The other vision, and which is little known about Maya Care, is who works at the back end. Abhay just described our amazing volunteers who are from 18 to 85. But apart from that, we have two more sets of people who work with us. And one is our backbone really the backbone, I would say, of the administrative backbone, are persons with disability who have overcome whatever disability they have had, and they are professionals. And we have 4 people already. And apart from those 4 people, we've just added a 5th yesterday. And we are hoping that we get to know more people like that. And they are essentially the people who will continue to do the back-end database administration, whatever else it is. So we have a range of people, somebody with an accident and had to overcome what comes with that, to polio, to cerebral palsy, to arthritis, to whatever else. So we are very, very happy to welcome people. And usually when we talk about this, people say, okay, give us the job description, we'll send you. And I said, we don't want to give a job description, we want to meet the person. And how that process works is that we actually get the mothers of the people who are already working with us to interact with them on a video call, and the mother tells them the story of how their child, and it's not a child because the person is in their 30s or 20s or 40s now, how they have evolved, what they have reached now, where they have reached now. And then it's very encouraging that the others will join, and depending on whatever they're good at, some people might be just good at typing, they might be good at speaking, some people might just be good at data, some people writing, or whatever else. We tailor that job for them, and all of these are paid. All of these are paid jobs, and they're in India at the moment. So that's the other vision, that to have a very stable backend team, and which is led by these people. Volunteers will always be a population. Some volunteers are with us for a few months, some are around for 10 years. They've been with us for a very long time. And the third set of people, which is a very recent addition to Maya Care, is just about 5 weeks old, is our interns. And I think the reason why we are talking to Reema is thanks to one of our interns who got in touch with you. So we're very happy to have young people again from the group we are talking to. When I say young people, we actually don't care whether they're graduates or not. They just have to be above 18 as far as possible, because legally we cannot take them. But we're also happy to take people who are younger, as long as they're small projects. And so the commitment for that again is very easy. Every Tuesday we have a video call with everybody who's an intern. During the week, they work at their own time, own pace, give as many hours as they want, and then we move forward. And the projects are very exciting for young people because they're right from making videos to, getting in touch with someone like you, or many other things which we've seen that people have, or organizing events, or we have an event coming up on 2nd of November where we're teaching senior citizens how to use Zoom and how to do a WhatsApp video call, and how to how to mute, unmute, how to share screen, all those kinds of things which the younger people will be teaching. And we in fact already have a request from one of your people in Dubai that he wants to teach one of a young person.
Wow. Wow.
So this
Amazing.
is the vision that, it will be a collective effort. The vision is really that if anybody, if we are above 60 in any city, we should know that there is a Maya Care number available for me to call and request a service. That's the simple vision. And hopefully this should work without us in the picture. Because we are not going to last forever. And we definitely, we've come a long way with the support of our own families. Abhay's sister has looked after his mother till she passed away. My brother and his wife, they're both with my parents. And my parents, especially my mother, has played a very, very crucial role in Maya Care in the past 10 years because she's managed all the finances. She's been a co-founder, director, all of that. She's 79. And so what we are trying to do now is, make Maya Care work without us in the long run. Not just financially, because financially it has to. We have to build those donations and all of that, but also operationally, where we have a leadership team in place. And even if we don't exist, Maya Care hopefully should exist.
And sorry, just to add, there is one more layer which is also very important, is the city coordinators. They play an amazing role. I mean, they coordinate the whole activity that happens in the city. And it's not an easy job because the requests can vary a lot. At the same time, there could be a lot of logistic issues. So the local knowledge becomes very important, being a city coordinator, as well as being a quick thinker in terms of making decisions, sometimes even without our support because we may not be reachable due to time difference or whatever. So they are playing a very important role, particularly with the new cities getting added. These coordinators are doing amazing job of spreading the word, increasing the network of volunteers, and setting up the operational needs locally there. So I think they are equally very important for us, for the success of new city, any new city that gets added.
Great. Sounds very good. So if I have to just say it again, what are the different ways in which IWD members can support you? So you can become a volunteer. You can help us launch new cities. You can actually put more senior citizens in touch with Maya Care if needed. If anybody is interested in opening the Dubai chapter and leading it, I am sure Abhay and Manjiri will give you all the support needed to lead it. So please reach out to either me or directly to Manjiri and Maya Care team. We'll leave all the numbers and contact details available. And what else? Have I missed anything, guys? You tell me.
Two more. So champions. Okay, so champions like you. I mean, what you are doing essentially is championing,
absolutely.
because you're helping us reach out to more people. And there is, all you need to do as a champion is say that I'm willing to talk about Maya Care to my social groups. And we have a kit which we will equip you with an article, with some CDs or whatever, films, whatever else. And if you're good at public speaking, or generally you just like socializing, you just, with groups. And so that's championing, or just share things about us on social media and keep forwarding things to us, things to other people, because it's, one of the regrets we have in Maya Care is that people have told us, oh, why didn't you tell us this works? This is happening. We've known you. And we've both been in jobs for this long. So why don't you just tell us this happens? So that is a regret, and we don't want that to happen in future, that people who needed Maya Care should know that it existed. So championing is definitely, and again, that is no time commitment. All you need to do is have that passion, saying, okay, let me talk about Maya Care, or let me share. So that's one. And also doing, donation fundraisers, because we've come up, people have come up to us saying, can I do a cake sale for you? Or can I do a little event, or, whatever else, in whichever form, or birthday event or anniversary or whatever else, because these are the things which will really help us in the long run. And it can be across the world, it can be anywhere, and in any form.
Absolutely. And those are the two easy things to do, guys. You can always talk about Maya Care socially. Just tell them about it to their friends. They'll meet. You might just touch somebody who can actually make a difference to the whole team here. And secondly, if you want to do fundraisers, I think instead of buying your next birthday gift, why don't you just do a fundraiser for Maya Care, and it'll help the team a lot, and you might be able to make your own difference to this in your own little way. So I think instead of buying that big purse, let's help the team here. Let's get it started. I'll just look through the questions. I think I've answered your question, Mukta. So Mukta asked me, how can one be a part of this noble cause? I think we've covered that. And Mridul said, need to know if there's any sort of support or become a member for Dubai. So what are your plans for Dubai, Manjari? I think you were trying to set up a team here. What's happening there?
Right. So we've had a little bit of difficulty, I'd say, so far, where we could really use a lot of support from everybody who's listening, because
Mm-hmm.
Abhay and I keep saying that this is something we just started on our own with, obviously following the law of the land, which was Maya Care Foundation in India and Maya Care Community Interest Company in the UK.
Mm.
We followed whatever regulations there were, and we are fine. But in Dubai, we are still grappling, and it's early, very, very early days. So we are still grappling with finding out the right information and what form we can register. And we're in
Mm.
touch with various people who are trying to help us. And because we want to do it right, we've even been told that, just start. It's a noble cause, just start. And we'll be very happy to start, honestly. But what we don't want is after a few years, somebody says, oh, how come you did this and you're not registered?
Mm.
And
Mm.
so it's it's absolutely free of charge. We are not paying anybody anything. We will not, nobody from outside Dubai will be traveling to Dubai for Maya Care, because everybody who currently lives in Dubai legally lives in Dubai in whatever form, either native people or migrant population, whoever, they're the ones who'll run it, and everything will
Yeah.
be local. So we're very clear on those fronts. So I think it'll take us a little longer because we want to do it right about establishing in Dubai. And so it absolutely, any help on any front, any pointers, anybody knows, anybody on the legal front or the government or anywhere else will be good. As if somebody establishes, if we get a valid legal source saying this is the right way to go about it, go start. Don't need to register. That's fine. We'll do it. But
Mm.
so that is where we are. But meanwhile, for everybody who registers interest, once you write in, or you send us numbers at service@mayacare.org. We have already started a Dubai supporters group, and everybody who's already reached out to us after your Facebook advert, and when people we've been reaching out to, we are adding them to the Dubai supporters WhatsApp group. And don't worry, it will not take your privacy or your time at all, because we are very strict with all our groups, and they're meant only for Maya Care related information. You will not be flooded with anything. But if you're not comfortable, just let us know immediately, saying that I don't want to be part of the group. But if you are part of the Dubai supporters group, it really helps, because when we have queries, oh, this is what we have found out, what next? When can we do this? Or like, we would like to publicize the 2nd November event. We've got another Bollywood old songs night coming up for senior citizens on 9th November. We have a senior citizen singing coming up on 6th December. There are various things coming up. So it'll be good to put it all there. And, women who are part of this group, or anybody listening, you can pass it back to your families in India as well. We, of course, want to help them. And especially the people who asked, are you present in my city? The best way to go to any city is to find a person who knows somebody there who's reliable. Because through the years, we have definitely realized what we don't want to do, and which is why there are certain cities we have not started. We are not comfortable with the people who've approached us for those cities, and we have to be very, very sure, Reema, that tomorrow if you say that meet my family there at 10 o'clock, senior citizens are extremely punctual. And if somebody is not going at 10 o'clock, we want to be very sure that person has called and said, I'm going to be half an hour late or not coming or whatever else. And if we don't have that, that sense of responsibility, we don't want to start. So the best way would be for everybody here to, put us back in touch with people in India. The other very interesting thing which is happening is that because we are providing the service in the UK, we are getting all kinds of requests to talk to somebody in Punjabi only, or talk to them in Gujarati only. And they're here, but they have this request. I know with some regulations, it may not be possible to have Dubai UK calls so easily. But in the long run, you never know, it might happen, because the phone volunteers, the phone companionship program can really have people from anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah.
Doing anything. So right now, I mean, just hold on. The message is that please join us as supporters and help us in our journey to.
Yeah, so we are very keen to start the Dubai chapter, I would say, in a way. Just as Manjiri said, it's all about getting clarity in terms of the formalities and other aspects of running operational issues that may be there. So once we have that clarity, we'll press the green button.
Great. So guys, if you know about any formalities or any legal processes, if you can help how both Manjari and Abhay on how to go forwards, please do connect, please do share information with them. In the meantime, while the formal process is being done for the Dubai Maya Care, why don't you help with the UK or the Indian Maya Care? And if you have any specific language skills like Punjabi or Kannada or any of the other specific languages, I'm sure there'll be some senior citizen who will be really happy to get a call from you. And it'll only be 30 minutes of your time in a week, but you are actually going to make somebody really, really happy. So very nice little way of giving back to the society, I would say.
So Reema, in fact, sorry to interrupt, but what you just said about giving time, so it doesn't have to be per week. Sometimes we get a request for even a one-off. Okay,
right.
So for example, help somebody with their visa regulation or help them with their, getting the passport in order and putting them on a flight. Okay, for example, I mean, the whole range of things which we get done are right now we have a request for somebody who's been a lady doctor, a dean of a college, and somebody's writing a book on her. So we just need somebody to call her and record the conversation. Call her, speak about her very, really amazing life, and record the conversation, and then help her daughter write the book about her own mother. Now that's a because there's so many times we have done this where a person is has had a very fruitful intellectual life but cannot see anymore, but they're so active mentally, they want to write. And our volunteers have written the book for them. They've edited the book for them, or done the computer work or whatever else, or simply chatted with them. Among our many amazing stories of a young lady, I mean, a lady who was in her 40s who started visiting senior citizen, and he had told his son very clearly, I'm not going to come and live with you, and I'm not going to live with the other son. I'm 90, I'm going to be by myself, and don't bother. But it is very difficult for then a person to tell his father or mother saying that I'm going to send someone for you, or somebody arrange for someone to talk, because it's not easy to accept. Loneliness is a very difficult thing to accept. So it's not easy. So we said, okay, don't say Maya. And now after that, we have done this multiple times. So this lady started going and she told him, I want to set up my business in this area. Can you help me, being an entrepreneur, whatever else. And they developed such a relationship over months that he was very sad when she had to leave and go to another city. I don't think he ever knew that she's not from, I mean, she's from Maya Care. But the other multiple instances where we've had is we start this way, but later that relationship develops and they're fine. They know Maya Care. And in fact, they like it so much, they will, it grows. So in terms of commitment, it could be very less, once a month. It could even be one-off. As we said, it's not about how many visits we did or how many senior citizens we touched. There is no sense to the numbers. It's really, were we present when that person needed us?
Absolutely, quality is.
And if you are, if you have a valid Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Gujarati, whatever number at that point, and a reliable person who say, okay, now I'll arrange for this. That's enough for us.
Absolutely.
Wow. Very nice, guys. Guys, I have, I'm after this video, I'm going to share Maya Care's contact details. I'll also share, I can see requests coming. People are very excited to join your WhatsApp group, guys. So I think we will get a lot of requests for joining our WhatsApp group, which is great. So Mukta, yes, I will share the WhatsApp group link after this, which people can join. And we'll share all the information regarding how to reach out to Maya Care's team if you want to volunteer. How we can also share, we also have their bank details in case anyone wants to just do a donation and connect with them. You can pass those details to other people in India who would be interested in this initiative and can connect in other different way. So it's not only about Dubai, girls. Talk about Maya Care to your families in India, to your friends in India. And if Maya Care is not present in your city in India, maybe you you can find a friend who can be the coordinator and is ready to dedicate a little bit of their time to this wonderful initiative. You can make your own difference in your own little way. So find a way to get attached to this initiative. I honestly believe it's great, which is why I requested Abhay and Manjiri to come to our platform today. But see if you can make your own difference to this. It's going to be amazing. I trust you. You'll feel good at the end of the day if you do this. So definitely that I urge all IWD women to to commit to this. Very good. I have really had a good time talking to you both today, and I really, really want to thank you for for the amazing job you guys are doing. You guys are inspirational. Like I said the first time we talked, everybody wants to do something like this. I also want to do something like this, but you guys have actually done it. So you are the epitome of people who are inspirational and have done something really commendable and given back to the society. So I'm going to wish you all the very best and lots of more success. And I'm really hoping this coffee chat with us today will actually put you in touch with some amazing women from Dubai. And I'm sure we have lots of them in our community. And even if you find 5 of them who are ready to help you, I will call this session a big success. So thanks, guys. Thank you so much for your time today. And we hope to stay connected, and we wish you all the best.
Thanks, Reema. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us on the coffee chat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.